Hello, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day. Today, we're diving into a heartwarming story of a couple transforming their cozy home into a magical Christmas wonderland. From decorating the tree to baking cookies and creating unforgettable memories. If you enjoy this, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss our next videos. A crisp winter morning had settled gently over the small house, wrapping it in an almost magical calm. Tu Tieu woke early, the chill nudging her awake, and wrapped a soft scarf around her neck. She padded quietly into the living room and flicked on the lights. In the corner, the Christmas tree stood tall, bare, and unadorned. Despite the emptiness, a small, content smile tugged at her lips. 2 weeks until Christmas. But starting early has its charm, she murmured softly. From the kitchen, the soft clink of mugs reached her ears. Uri stepped into the room, carrying 2 steaming cups of cocoa, the sweet aroma filling the space. Catching sight of her talking to the tree, he chuckled warmly. "Are you talking to the Christmas tree?" Tu Tieu turned, cheeks coloring slightly, but she accepted the cocoa from his hands. They settled down on the floor, surrounded by open boxes of decorations, twinkling string lights, colorful baubles, a shiny star meant for the top of the tree, and a few homemade ornaments Tu Tieu had crafted the year before. She held up a silver bauble, letting it catch the morning light. "Do you think this one should go on the left or right side of the tree?" Uri gave a playful shrug, his voice teasing but tender. "Hang it wherever you want. Honestly, the brightest thing in this house this Christmas is still you." Tu Tieu laughed, lightly nudging his shoulder. Her eyes, though, held a warmth that went beyond the playful exchange. And just like that, they began decorating. Each ornament had a story. The red bauble from their first Christmas together. The string lights Uri had once spent an entire evening untangling. The paper star Tu Tieu had made during a blackout. Each piece brought a memory to life. While she bent down to grab more decorations, Uri quietly approached from behind and placed a reindeer headband on her head. Tu Tieu's hands shot up in surprise. "What are you doing?" Uri grinned. "You look so cute. I couldn't resist." "Early decoration, maybe?" She shook her head, though her eyes sparkled with amusement. The small room suddenly felt brimming with Christmas magic, earlier than expected. They started chatting about the weeks ahead, planning to hang more lights outside, brainstorming ideas for Christmas dinner, and secretly plotting small surprises for each other. After hanging roughly half the ornaments, they stepped back to admire their progress. Though incomplete, the soft glow of the string lights already transformed the room. Tu Tieu looked at the tree and said with a small sigh, "There's still so much to prepare?" Uri nodded, his hand brushing against hers. "We have 2 weeks. Plenty of time. And that's the best part. Taking it slow, enjoying each step." As afternoon shifted into evening, the chill outside deepened, but inside, warmth and laughter reigned. They brought out a box of smaller decorations, wind chimes, red stockings, holiday-themed hats. Carefully, they placed each item around the living room, on bookshelves, stair railings, even draped over the edges of furniture. After hanging each piece, they'd step back, tilt their heads in thought, and laugh about what looked best. Uri picked up a tiny festive hat and plopped it on Tu Tieu's head, his voice deepening for comic effect. "Ho ho ho! Miss Tu Tieu, have you been good this year?" Tu Tieu pretended to recoil, shaking her head exaggeratedly. "You're such a child." The sound of their laughter filled the room, chasing away the winter's chill. Once the main decorations were in place, they laid down a crimson cloth on the floor, an early Christmas gift corner. Tu Tieu carefully arranged small gift boxes, some for friends, others secret surprises for Uri. She glanced around, a faint smile tugging at her lips. It looked simple, but there's still so much to do. Gifts, decorations, cooking. 2 weeks isn't that long, is it? Uri placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Don't stress. We'll take it day by day. The best part? Doing it together. Tu Tieu looked at him, her tiredness replaced by a soft, happy glow. They wrapped small string lights around the window, the flickering bulbs reflecting gently on their faces. Tu Tieu leaned closer to Uri, whispering, I think this Christmas will be really special for us. Uri smiled and entwined his fingers with hers. As long as we're together, every Christmas is special. Evening settled fully, and they moved to the sofa with their cocoa, flipping through photo albums from past holidays. Each picture sparked laughter, gentle teasing, and memories that warmed their hearts. They made plans for the coming 2 weeks, more outdoor lights, baking cookies, and crafting the Christmas dinner menu. Every shared idea, no matter how small, brought joy. Tu Tieu playfully offered him a bite of a cookie she had baked the day before. Try this, fresh out of yesterday's batch. Uri chewed thoughtfully, then nodded. Delicious. This year, we'll have to bake even more and taste test everything. They laughed together, letting the simplicity of the moment settle around them like a soft blanket. Even though Christmas was still 2 weeks away, for Tu Tieu and Uri, the season had already begun. Every ornament hung, every string light untangled, and every cookie baked was more than preparation. It was a celebration of being together. Through laughter, playful teasing, and shared memories, the small house glowed not just with lights, but with love, companionship, and the unmistakable feeling of home. The night deepened, but the warmth inside the house seemed to grow. Tu Tieu and Uri moved around, placing final touches with careful precision. A tiny red stocking hung on the edge of a bookshelf. A delicate wind chime swayed slightly in the draft from the window, and a festive hat perched jauntily on the corner of the sofa. Each small adjustment brought bursts of laughter or playful debate. Uri picked up a small ornament shaped like a snowman, turning it over in his hands. Where should we put this guy? Right here on the windowsill? Tu Tieu squinted, pretending to analyze the snowman as though it were a grand piece of art. Maybe over here. No, wait. He's better next to the little reindeer. They can keep each other company. Uri laughed, shaking his head, and carefully repositioned the ornament. The two of them had developed a rhythm, a quiet understanding that made even mundane decisions feel playful and intimate. Every small movement, every shared glance, reinforced the sense of closeness they had built over years together. Eventually, the Christmas gift corner began to take shape. Tu Tieu arranged boxes by size and color, sneaking in tiny surprises for Uri. He, in turn, secretly placed a small package with her name on it, though he pretended not to. Their subtle acts of thoughtfulness created a game of anticipation, a private layer of excitement beneath the visible decorations. Sitting down again on the floor, Uri draped a string of fairy lights around Tu Tieu's shoulders, letting them cascade like a soft shawl. She laughed at the sight in the mirror, the golden lights highlighting her hair and eyes. "You're ridiculous," she said, smiling despite herself. Uri grinned, clearly pleased with the effect. "Ridiculous, but festive. You have to admit, it's a good look for Christmas." They paused for a moment, simply looking at the room around them. The twinkling lights reflected on the walls. Ornaments glimmered in soft reds and golds, and the scent of cocoa and baking lingered like a gentle promise. It was more than a decorated room. It was a living memory in the making. Tu Tieu leaned back on her hands, gazing at Uri. "You know, this isn't just decorating. It feels like we're weaving all our little moments together into one big warm story." Uri reached for her hand, squeezing it gently. "That's exactly what it is. And the story isn't finished yet. We've still got 2 weeks to add more chapters." With that, they moved toward the kitchen, gathering ingredients for a batch of cookies they'd planned earlier. Tu Tieu rolled out dough, while Uri helped with shaping the festive forms. Stars, trees, and little snowmen. The kitchen filled with flour dust, laughter, and the smell of baking. When one batch came out slightly overdone, they teased each other without frustration, taking playful bites straight from the tray. "You always burn the corners," Tu Tieu said, nudging Uri gently. "Hey, it's part of my charm," he replied with a wink. Even as the cookies cooled on the racks, they sat at the table, planning the rest of their holiday activities. They debated over which outdoor lights to buy, what flavors of hot chocolate to experiment with, and which songs would make the perfect Christmas playlist. Every detail, no matter how small, became a shared adventure, a joint effort that strengthened the invisible threads between them. By the time the first snowflakes of the evening drifted past the window, Tu Tieu and Uri had moved back to the living room, cozy under a soft blanket. The tree lights reflected softly on their faces, and the house had transformed into a little bubble of warmth amidst the winter cold. Tu Tieu leaned her head on Uri's shoulder. "I think this is the first time Christmas has felt so personal. Not about the presents or the decorations. Just us." Uri kissed the top of her head, smiling softly. "Exactly. That's what makes it real. That's what makes it ours." They spent the rest of the evening flipping through more old photographs, reliving past holiday memories, some funny, some touching. Each memory brought a story, a shared laugh, or a small anecdote that had been tucked away in the corners of their minds. They reminisced about Christmases with friends, family gatherings, and quiet moments like this one that had gradually become their tradition. At one point, Tu Tieu reached for a small, handmade ornament, a delicate paper star Uri had helped her fold years ago. She held it up to the light, turning it slowly. "Remember when we made this during the blackout? I thought we'd never get it right." Uri laughed softly. "I remember, but we did. And look at it now, hanging here, still shining." The moment felt simple, yet profoundly meaningful. It was a reminder of their shared history, their growth together, and the quiet, steady love that had become the foundation of their life. As the night grew late, the room seemed to pulse with warmth and light. Tu Tieu and Uri continued to add small touches, a sprig of holly here, a tiny bell there, until finally they sat back to admire the completed scene. Even though Christmas Day was still 2 weeks away, their home felt complete. It wasn't just the lights, ornaments, or gifts that made it so. It was the laughter, the shared stories, the tender gestures, and the feeling that they were building memories that would last a lifetime. Uri pulled Tu Tieu close, resting his chin lightly on her shoulder. "You know," he said quietly, "all this, it's perfect. Not because everything is decorated, but because we did it together." Tu Tieu rested her head against his chest, listening to the steady rhythm of his heartbeat. "You're right. This is more than just Christmas decorations. It's us, right here, right now." The house was silent, save for the gentle hum of the lights and the faint wind outside. Within the walls of their little home, there was a sense of contentment so deep it felt almost tangible. They sipped the remaining cocoa, finishing the last cookies, and allowed themselves to simply exist in the moment, free from stress, free from plans, free from the outside world. Even in those small, quiet moments, they found the essence of the season: love, togetherness, and a shared sense of belonging. Tu Tieu glanced around at the tree, the stockings, the gifts, and the glowing lights, and felt a surge of gratitude. "I think this Christmas, it's going to be one we remember forever," she whispered. Uri smiled, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Because we're making it our own. Every ornament, every cookie, every laugh, it's all part of our story." The rest of the evening passed in gentle conversation, soft laughter, and the occasional playful nudge. They discussed small things to do over the next 2 weeks, preparing a more elaborate Christmas dinner, wrapping gifts in creative ways, and maybe even writing little handwritten notes to tuck into stockings. Every plan, every idea added a layer of excitement to the season, making the countdown to Christmas feel like a series of small, joyful events rather than a single distant day. Finally, as the night drew to a close, Tu Tieu and Uri settled together on the sofa, hands intertwined, faces glowing in the reflection of the tree lights. The world outside was cold and quiet, but inside, their home was alive with warmth, love, and the unmistakable spirit of Christmas. Even with 2 weeks still left until the holiday for Tu Tieu and Uri, every moment leading up to it had already become part of the celebration. The act of preparing, decorating, baking, planning, and simply enjoying each other's company had transformed ordinary winter days into extraordinary memories. They realized, in a quiet, almost unspoken way, that Christmas wasn't just a day. It was a feeling, a state of togetherness, and a testament to love in its simplest, most profound form. As they finally turned off the lights and prepared for bed, the room glimmered faintly, the decorations softly reflecting the joy and care poured into them. Tu Tieu rested her head on Uri's shoulder one last time for the night, whispering, "Thank you for making this Christmas so special already." Uri smiled, pressing a gentle kiss to her forehead. "Every Christmas will be special, as long as we're together." And with that, they drifted into sleep, hearts full, home aglow, and 2 weeks of festive anticipation stretching ahead like a warm, inviting promise. The holiday, in every sense that mattered, had already begun. In this heartwarming holiday video, we follow Tu Tieu and Uri as they transform their small home into a magical Christmas wonderland 2 weeks before the big day. From decorating the tree with meaningful ornaments to hanging string lights and festive stockings, every action carries a memory and sparks laughter. They bake cookies together, plan Christmas dinner, and secretly prepare small gifts for each other, creating moments full of love and joy. The cozy atmosphere, twinkling lights, and playful teasing between them showcase the true spirit of the season: togetherness, warmth, and creating memories that last. Even before Christmas arrives, Tu Tieu and Uri's home is filled with laughter, love, and the essence of what makes the holiday truly special. It's a celebration of connection, joy, and the magic of sharing life with someone you love.